Good afternoon. My name is Konstantinos. By trade, I am a computer engineer, but let's say the recent time I am working as a commis waiter in a well-established hotel of the coastal Cyprus. And in this video, I'm going to practice my waiting skills with you. So let's do this. And as an entry-level commis waiter, it's time for me to practice my existing waiting skills, and in addition, it's time for me to learn new skills in order for me to be more skillful in my waiting duties during the summer period of 2026. So, after the short introduction, let's wait. Before I start the demonstration, let me show you the tools of the trade. So, I'm going to use this cover as the particular one, as the tray. I do not have a, let's say, normal restaurant tray, so I'm going to use this one with your permission. It's like we say in the Spanish, con permiso, comandate. I believe this is the correct word. In addition, I'm going to use a dining plate. Also, I'm going to use a small plate that will serve as a medium in order for the guest to be able to serve his or herself with particular sweets offered from the hotel restaurant. In addition, I will include a whiskey glass, I will include a small wine glass. The particular, it also may be used as a water glass in some restaurants. And here we have the so-called, in Greek, solina. It's a special glass that someone, with a particular glass, we may offer to the guest beverages like sometimes it left empty in order for the guest to fill it with mineral water or tap water. Sometimes we may use the particular glass in order for us to be able to offer to the guest beverages like Sprite, Coca-Cola, orange juice. Sometimes it may be used from the bartenders for a particular cocktail, maybe for a cocktail like pina colada. So, and some additional tools. So, let's start the demonstration. Let me align the camera, and in the particular space, in the particular chair, my guest is sitting and is waiting for the waiting staff to approach him and make some order and have a nice meal and a nice time in our restaurant. Let me fix again the camera, and I will be the waiter responsible for the particular table. And let's do this. And yes. And let's begin. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Konstantinos, and I will be the waiter that will serve your table today. Feel free to ask any questions relevant to our menu. And in essence, this is the first approach with the customer. Let me align the camera. Okay, let's assume the customer had needs some time in order for him to make a particular choice. Okay, of course, the table will not be okay; it will be set properly. And because the customer needs some time in order for him or her to choose the meal of his or her choice, what I'm going to say, let's say, I will be right back in 5 minutes in order for me to receive or register your order. And I am leaving from the side of the customer, and in a sense, in order for him to have some time, some private space, and make a proper choice. And let's continue. I have not a good angle here. It is better. Let's see. And let me set properly the table. It's the selfie side of the camera, and I have not a big picture. I believe this is better. And I'm going to serve from the right side of the guest. This is the left, this is the right. I'm going to use the right side. Okay, I'm seeing the camera. Anyways, I'm going to serve from the right side, and also I'm going to receive to take the dirty plates from the right side. I'm going to start with the plates. I will bring at first let's say the lunch plate. I'm not sure if it's the correct pronunciation, but it's the big plate that the customer in a buffet setting, let's say, is able to use in order for him to fill it with food, maybe salad, meat, and so on, in order for him to have a nice and hot meal. And I'm going to hold them like this. It's the small plate and the big plate, because at first I'm going to I'm going to set to the table the big plate, and then the small. The small would be the top of the big one. So that's why at the top is the big one, because it's the first that will go to the table, and after this is a small one because it's the second that will go to the table and top of the big one. Okay, as you see, no problem at all. Okay, some angle. Okay, and how, so you see it's like this, and now it's this. And okay, I believe it's the wrong setting. I'm going to serve with this hand, so I need to set the plates accordingly. Okay, and this one like this, again, I believe it's the correct setting. It should be like this, for you to avoid to drop any tables, any plates, you know. Remember, if you drop any plates because they break, they are not from plastic. The material that compose the plates, it's easily breaks. You will make noise. And if you make noise in a restaurant setting, either in a fine dining restaurant or in a hotel restaurant, even in a fast food restaurant, you know, you make noise. You produce discomfort for the other customers. So be careful. You may hold on your hands a lot of plates, a lot of weight, but please be careful. It creates discomfort, this thing. And always have your hand 19 degrees. Not like this, not like this, not like this, because the plates might fall from your hand, like this. And let's do this. Again, sir, here the main course plate and the let's say the red course plate. Like it's somehow is wrong, the alignment. It should be like this after the customer arrives to the table. So you see, it's somehow for me it's somehow odd. You are like this and you are like this. See, you touch on the. Let's place it here, like this. So it's the main course. It's the side plate. Here we might have fish, some bones, let's say, or something that the customer do not wish to have. He will take it from here. He will put it here very gently, and he will have his meal. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. We have this. I don't remember the name, but it's here in order for us to set it knife, fork, and spoon to have knife, fork, and spoon for the customer. In order for him to be able to eat, because without a fork, a knife, and a spoon, he will eat it with his hands. Okay. So here is a space for the knife, the fork, and the spoon. Here is my tray, you see. If you are going to have on the tray knives, spoons and forks, yes, I believe it's spoon and fork, then you need to have an additional layer. You will not have the tray and then top of it directly the knives. No, you need to have an additional hygiene layer, let's say, and then you will have the knife, the spoon, and the fork. I believe it's spoon and fork. I'm not sure, but I believe these are the correct words. And let me say it properly. So I believe the knife goes like this, the fork goes like this, and the spoon goes like this. I'm not sure, I believe this is the correct alignment. Some restaurants have it like this. The fork, the knife like this, the fork, and the spoon. So depends. I believe in the restaurants, in hotel restaurants. For the morning time, we don't have this. This one is on the, is on the buffet, the meal plate, and the setting is like this, basically like this. Anyways, I don't remember because I am not remember clearly, let's say, because I have little experience. Something like this, I believe. Okay, this is not there. There is a small spoon. So I believe this is spoon, this one. And I believe this is the fork. And this is the knife. I'm holding a knife at this moment, so be careful. I'm jerking. Okay, let's continue. Again, remember, 19 degrees, always 19 degrees, especially with the glasses, because again, like the plates, if they fall, they break, they make noise, you need to run and have the cleaning equipment with you, clean the area, and then also have a special indication that the floor is slippery in order for a guest to not approach the particular floor and fall, break a leg, a hand, and then this may equal to legal circumstances for the hotel or for the restaurant establishment in general. So remember, for example, as we see here, okay, it's a good indication, it's good practice for you to have in the middle of the tray the heavy glasses and in the perimeter the not so heavy. In my case, the whiskey glass, this one, it's heavy by its own without any liquid inside. Let's say the water glass, Isolina, it's not so heavy, and the wine glass, it's plastic one. The white is neglectable, and you see, okay, I believe I am holding it correctly. Okay, and I'm not going here are my hands. You see, if you do at first, if you are not feeling comfortably, you may hold gently in the side the tray. If you feel more comfortable, like this. Okay. If you feel more comfortable, then you may hold it with one hand. Again, 19 degrees. So let's serve the customer. I will begin with the lighter one. Again, you will start with the perimeter and you will conclude with the middle of the tray. Okay, do not take from the one side and leave the other side. It will be, you may have a little accident. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1. Okay, not 1, 1. Let's do this. And let's begin. Good afternoon, sir. Here are your drinks. Let's say there was a wine. Pina colada. And what is this? And the Duars whiskey with ice. Enjoy, sir. And that's all. You see, now it's more. I believe the tray should be like this. So I believe this is the correct way. But remember always, you may interact with other waiting staff, with the customers. Okay, and at the time that you serve, the mind may go out of the tray. Okay, you should be like this, because if you go like this, everything falls. It would be bad image for the customer if something fails and breaks, loud noise, discomfort. If something falls on the table or in the customer, in his clothes, or on a female customer clothing, again, bad image for the restaurant, discomfort for the customer. Okay, and let's say the customer was able to, not was able, he conclude his or her meal. Now we need to pick everything, the dirty plates and the dirty glasses from the table. So remember, if a customer concludes the meal, he will do this. He will take the knife like this. He will take the fork. I believe it's like this. So the customer will form let me show it clearly. The customer will form an X on the table, on the plate. You see, like an X, not a cross, an X. So it's like, without words, the customer said to the waiter, you know, I have finished with my meal. Please take the plate along with the cutlery that is inside the plate. So the spoon, it's still here. You are not going to take the spoon. You are going to take only the plate along with the cutlery that it's inside the plate. Remember this. So here is the tray, the lovely tray. Let's assume the customer was able to conclude the main course. And let's assume the customer is talking maybe with another customer that is sitting here or here. Okay, so if in that occasion you do not say anything to anyone, you do not disturb the customer. Okay. You come like this. Here is the. Okay, you are not going to hold a tray. I'm used to hold the tray all the time. You are going like this. Okay, and politely and gently do this. And you are going to move away. So for the waiting purpose, in some countries the waiters serve from the left and pick from the right. In some countries the waiters serve from the right and pick from the left. In some countries, the waiters serve from the right and pick from the right. So what I try to say is that according to specific regions, there are specific hospitality rules. Different rules in the United States, different rules in Europe, different rules in Asia. It always depends on the region that you are working on. Okay, so in the culinary school, you will learn a specific waiting methodology. And after all, let's say you are waiting you had the opportunity to attend a waiting school in Cyprus. After all, after a lot of let's say after some time you was able to land a job in Dubai. The particular restaurant or the particular hotel or hospitality setting might have a different let's say we have different rules for the waiting of the customers. So you need to learn and follow the particular rules. So the customer, let me take it correctly, chose conclude the meal. Okay, I have you see the sign, the X sign here, you know, like this. And I was without to disturb the customer, I approached it very politely. I have taken away the dirty cutlery and the dirty plate, and I have moved it all the way to the kitchen steward station. And now remember, we use the tray mostly in order for us to pick the dirty glasses. Let's say the customer was able to drink let me find the correct word. He was able to drink his pina colada, the whiskey, and also the wine, the rosé wine. So it's time for me to pick them up. Here is the tray, and one. Always in the middle because it's the heavy glass. It's the heavy glass. Two. And three. 90 degrees. Here we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the customer chose to leave last for the side meal. Let's say the spoon and the small plate. After all, he was able. After some time, he conclude the meal. So it's 1, 2, 3, like this. This mentions that the customer was able to he's finished with the side meal. It's like this, you know. We approach the customer like this, you know, and very politely we have taken also, you know. After all, we approach a customer. Sir, madam, would like to have something else? He may say yes. I would like to have an additional glass of wine. No, thank you very much. I would like to have the bill, please. So again, you bring the bill. Here you are, sir. So far, so good. So we need to ask again, sir, madam, what is your preferred method of payment? By cash or by card? Okay. The customer will mention, I will pay by cash or I will pay by card. And accordingly, from a hotel experience, we need to go to the head waiter. What you need to say to the head waiter? Head waiter, the table number 8, for example, would like to pay for the meals and for the drinks. So the head waiter will go to the cashier side of the restaurant, will print the bill. We are going to mention that that the customer will going to pay by cash or by card in order for the head waiter to hand out, for example, the proper bill along. Let's say if the customer pays with a debit card or credit card, he will hand out also the payment machine in order for us to be able to receive a payment for from a debit or credit card. And at the time that you are going to provide the bill to the customer, we are going to do the following. Here, let's assume the customer chose to pay by card. So here is the card reader. Here is a special envelope that inside is the bill for the customer. So we approach the customer very politely. Sir, madam, your bill. The customer will open the special envelope and the special holder and will review the bill. He may have some questions for the bill. If he has, we need to, in that case, we need to call the head waiter. Okay. In other case, he will pay, of course, sir. We hold the at first we enter the amount in the card reader. After this, we hold the card reader like this. The customer pays. We are like this. We take out the customer receipt. We place it in the receipt holder place, and bill paid. We only take the card reader and the card payment receipt for the restaurant, the merchant receipt, and we move out of the site. Okay, you may say, I hope, sir, we hope that you enjoy your meal and your stay in our restaurant. And we move from the side of the customer, and that's it. The mouse. So you see, I believe it's all about to find, to be comfortable with a particular trade, and after all, to be synchronized with the way the hospitality establishment that you are working on is operates, with the operation of the hospitality establishment that you're working on. I believe these are the basics for a commis waiter. Commis waiter is a French word. In Greek is servitoros gamma, or in English assistant waiter. Because at first this is the assistant waiter, then is waiter B, waiter A. After this, head waiter. After this is the station supervisor or the restaurant supervisor or the outlet supervisor. After this is the maître. The maître, again a French word indicating the person responsible for a band of outlets or a band of restaurants of a particular hotel, or it's above the supervisor of a particular restaurant. After all, okay, if you have a maître, that means the restaurant either in a hotel setting or in an absolute restaurant setting. Maybe it's a big restaurant and have a lot of tables and a lot of stations. So we have the commis waiters. After all, we have the waiter B, waiter A. the supervisor, and for all the stations we have a single supervisor, which is the maître, which is the head of the restaurant operations. Maybe above the maître we may see a food and beverage manager, especially in the hotels, in the hotel industry. And after the food and beverage manager, it's the hotel operations manager, and above the hotel operations manager is the hotel's director. That's all from a new and lonely Commis Waiter. See you on the next video. And I hope that you have enjoyed the particular one.